Hello, I'm Jill Dunlop and I'm the Progressive Conservative candidate for Simcoe North. I was born in Coldwater and I grew up with a love for our rural Ontario. You may know I come from a political family, and it's my mother's political career that inspires me. Not only did she support my father and his career, but after her children were grown, she recognized that she has a voice and a passion of her own. Myself, I started out as a faculty member at Georgian College and have been working with the college for over 8 years now. In that time, I've had the opportunity to work not only in the classroom, but in the community. A few years ago, a group of fellow faculty members and I saw a need and began informally building relationships between the college and employers. This evolved into a position that allowed me to actively create connections for students to receive on-the-job experience in our local communities. So while I worry about the economic environment for my own daughters, I also see the challenges facing the business community and my students. As I look at the environment these students are graduating into, I embrace the opportunities and challenges to be part of a team with a vision to build Ontario back into a have province by declaring enough is enough. Every door I knock on, events and meetings I attend, it's loud and clear. People want change. Life is harder for families and individuals in Ontario. It is time for a change in Ontario. And I want to assure you today that under a PC government, life gets more affordable. Let's stop the spiraling debt and busy work. We cannot afford another Liberal government. We can do better, and we must do better. And yes, this can be done with a lower tax burden and a thriving economy that includes rural Ontario. So while I say it is time for a change, it is a change based in solutions. For me, this core need is supported by 3 key pillars: respect for the people of Ontario, better jobs, and a thriving rural economy. My driving value in seeking election is respect for people. And along with this, a recognition that it is not government that builds a province, but the people. Strong businesses build a strong economy, and strong families build strong communities. This means we need hydro rates, tax rates, healthcare, and education programs that support people's engagement in a thriving Ontario. Over the past 15 years, under a Liberal government, we have seen an erosion in this respect. The Liberal government acts as though they know best how to spend your money, with decisions being made that we not only disagree with, but they result in money lost from our households, not just in hydro costs, which have tripled, but the difficulty in starting or running a business, reduced services in our schools and hospitals, and the list goes on. Did you know, in the 1990s, Ontario's average income was 10% above the national average. In 2012, Ontario incomes fell below the national average for the first time ever. The government collects income tax from employees whose income is below the poverty line. And despite Liberal promises, the 2018 budget is another deficit, more debt. And what they are doing is not working. It is not stimulating the economy. We feel the hardship of a stagnant economy that has frozen wages for so many frontline workers in the public sector, or kept them below the rate of inflation. An economy that has made pay raises impossible for business owners. A legislated minimum wage increase is not a solution. It is a symptom. Business owners want to pay a fair wage. We are all struggling. Given our decline in average income, Ontario needs better jobs. Briefly, I see 3 key opportunities: public-private partnerships, eliminating government red tape, and restoring our manufacturing industry, all of which will facilitate better jobs. We need to build partnerships between employers and education to train for jobs that are waiting to be filled. There is a growing skills gap in our province that only gets wider with our aging population. Aligning training with real industry needs will help our businesses fill their key roles, while simultaneously creating better jobs, secure, skilled, and with better pay. Did you know there are 380,000 regulations choking business development? Does that make sense? To enable business creation and growth, we must eliminate government red tape. Ontario has lost more than 350,000 good-paying manufacturing jobs. It is time to make manufacturing and processing plants viable again in Ontario, a province rich in raw materials. This requires that we also fix our broken skilled trade system so that businesses can hire the skilled trades workers they need to grow. Strong businesses lead to a strong economy. Let's build an environment that tells entrepreneurs that Ontario is open for business. Let's look a bit more local now. As a lifelong resident of Simcoe North, I am appalled that the Liberal approach to rural Ontario is to shut it down and move it to the city. This is unacceptable. Our communities support a way of life that we treasure, provide peaceful locations for retirement, and house and care for the workers of key sectors of our economy. Rural Ontario feeds our province's economy in agriculture, forestry, mining, processing and manufacturing, recreation and tourism. Many of these industries are lacking a cohesive strategic plan, resulting in lost opportunity and inhibited growth. A PC government sees a thriving rural Ontario as essential to a prosperous, sustainable Ontario. This means respecting the infrastructure needs in our communities and between our communities. Healthcare, education, transit, high-speed internet, and considering those infrastructure investments across all industries and ministries. We need leaders at Queen's Park promoting the opportunities of our communities. As I said in my intro, I come from a political family. This means I understand exactly what this job entails and how to balance time in the riding with time at Queen's Park. I have worked beside our local MP and MPP for many years, and I understand the commitment, the collaboration, and the process that are required to get things done for our local constituents. I'm Jill Dunlop, and with your support on June 7th, I will work tirelessly to restore your Ontario.